Hey everybody, Brian Beatty with Century 21 Affiliated here in Clearwater. So today we're going to cover a little topic, home maintenance issue that's pretty common. So you may have gotten a large water bill and you're wondering what to do next. After 24 years in the plumbing and the remodeling industry, I'll give you a few tips on how to check if it's something serious or something you may be able to take care of yourself before you call the plumbing contractor. So the very first thing we're going to do is find the water meter. It's usually down here in Florida. It's going to be located in your front yard. So usually there's some kind of a metal cover. Sometimes they're, most of the time they're going to be underground. On occasion they are above ground. So this could just depend on where you're at, which local jurisdiction you're under, and who supplies your water with how they have it fed. So it is always a good thing to know where your water meter is in case of emergency, because the city shutoff is out there, and that's a helpful thing to know in case your shutoff on the house doesn't work, or you need to shut the water off for a long term because maybe you're going to leave town for a while. This is a good thing. So let's head over to what I call the water meter vault in the front yard. It was painted recently, but blue is a location services color for domestic water. If it was a purplish pink color, would be for a reclaimed water meter. So if we had a large water bill and we're interested to know whether or not it's accurate or not, one of the things we're going to do is pick this cover up. You may want to be careful because from time to time there can be bugs, snakes, all kinds of different stuff, spiders. I've taken the liberty of cleaning this out already so that we have easier way of showing. So there'll be a lid here, and there's going to be a little dial under here. So this is the actual water meter. This is where they take the reading from. So the red dial is the big dial. If water is flowing at a fast rate, we'll actually see that moving. The little triangle is what they call a leak detector. If that's moving ever so slightly, it means water's passing through the meter. That's the first thing most municipalities, plumbing contractors, and homeowners are going to look at to see if there's a water leak. So in this case, we don't have anything leaking. I'm going to simulate it to make it look like something's leaking so you can see what happens. Alright, for editing purposes, I actually created a pretty good leak through one of the faucets, so you can see the yellow or the black triangle spinning on a pretty steady basis. And that's what the municipality or plumbing contractor is going to come out and look at to verify whether or not you have a leak. So, saying, alright, we verified we have a leak, we don't know where it's at. So what's our next step? Well, the next step's going to be, we want to find the main house water shutoff. This is a systematic approach most plumbing contractors or technicians are going to take to diagnose where the leak is to narrow the search down. So next thing we want to do is find your main house shutoff at the house where the main comes in. Cold water, not the cold water at the water heater, but the main shutoff for the house. It's typically outside in a Florida home. Okay, so we've located the main shutoff, which is this lever style handle here. There's a little drain down right above it. Sometimes you'll see this. Sometimes it'll be a round handle that you got to turn multiple times. Basically, this is a quarter turn ball valve. So first thing you want to do is make sure the valve is shut off and the positive shut off. So this only turns 90 degrees. It's either on or off. This would be the off position. So once we have that in the off position, we want to go back to the meter and take a look to see if the triangle is still spinning. Alright, so we're back at the water meter and we're looking at that little leak detector triangle on the water meter. It appears to have stopped, and you go, wow, you fixed the leak. Nope, what we did was we isolated the leak is somewhere beyond that main shutoff valve, meaning it's not between the water meter and the shutoff valve we turned off. If this was still spinning, it would tell me that we had a water service problem on the line going from the meter to the house. And if that's the case, we would want to make sure that was the only leak. We would do some further diagnostics, but more than likely, if you get a big water bill, it's usually one leak And if it was a leak on the service, well, guess what? You got to pinpoint that leak somewhere between the meter and the house, try and make a repair. But depending on the age and the material you use, you're probably better off to just replace it with a new PEX line or PVC line on the underground that's going to be a lot longer lasting. So, alright, so we know the valve, the water surface is good. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to go turn that valve back on, and then we're going to go to our next valve, which is going to be the valve. The easiest way to do is figure out whether it's on the cold side or the hot side inside the house. So the next valve we're going to go to is the water heater valve. Alright, so we're back at the main. We're going to turn this valve back on. We can actually hear water surge. So that also helps us know that the leak is beyond this main valve and somewhere in the house. But we don't know at this point whether it's on the cold side or the hot side. Just for verification purposes, we come back out by the meter. We see it's still spinning. It tells us the leak is beyond that main valve. Alright, so our next valve we're going to check. We have a 50-gallon water heater in the garage. Very common in Florida. This pipe was CPVC. We have another ball valve here, which is the cold side going into the water heater. There shouldn't be any valve on the hot side. Basically, this cold only feeds all of the hot water. So what we're going to do next is shut this valve off. With that valve off, now we want to go back out and check the meter. Alright, so we're back out, and now that we have the water heater valve shut off, the triangle stopped turning. So now we know that the water is a leak on the hot water side. If it was still spinning, it would tell me that it's on the cold water side, which could be something very easy, simple as a flapper in a toilet, fill valve in a toilet that's stuck open, continuously running. We'd look at those kind of options if it was on the cold side. Alright, so we're going to turn the water back on. And we can actually hear the valve take water, meaning we know the leak is on the hot side. So, we would look for any visible faucets that are leaking, dishwasher that may be continuously running, anything on the hot water side. So maybe you have an outdoor shower somewhere by the pool, something like that. Obviously check the bottom of the water heater. Make sure you don't see anything leaking. If you don't see anything and it's on the hot water side, you're probably going to have to call a plumbing contractor. Probably do either a leak detection process, which finds the leak. It's typically a slab leak here in Florida on the copper piping below the floor, or it could be somewhere totally separate, but it's definitely something you'd want a contractor to look at that point. Most toilets use a flapper type system, and this is a standard 2-inch universal flapper. Fits about 90% of the toilets on the market. If it was on the cold side, 99% of the time this could be the culprit. With our chlorine content in our water down here in Florida, these tend to take a beating, and you can see this red one, this Corky Plus, it says resist chlorine. You definitely don't want to use a standard black flapper. You'll be changing that probably once every 12 months. This may last somewhere between 3 and 5 years. Same thing with the fill valves. Fill valve for a toilet, which is going to be the part that lets the water in and monitors the water level, is going to be the other part that needs to be changed on a regular basis that can cause a leak on the cold side. If all the toilet fill valves are good, flush valves, the flappers are good, and you can't find anything leaking, ice makers not running, that kind of stuff, then you could have a slab leak on the cold side, which would also require leak detection. The options at that point, the contractor would probably tell you whether or not it's in your best interest to make a repair or repipe the home. But hopefully this little video gives you an idea how you can help diagnose a issue with a large water bill. Toilet fill valve in a toilet. Could be a faucet that's continuously dripping you didn't know about. Old tub valve, shower valve that you're not currently using on a regular basis, so nobody would have any idea that it was leaking. Could be a slab leak. could be water service. If you need help, you can always give me a call. I can walk you through a few things. Otherwise, I do have local plumbing contractors that I can refer you to that I trust that would take care of you. As always, we're going to continue to do some home maintenance tips and checks, stuff that could help you save money, keep your home in good working order, and keep you from having to lose money when you go to sell because of deferred maintenance. So if you like this video, share it with a friend. Make sure you stop by Brian Beatty Homes on Facebook. You can www.facebook.com/Brian Beatty Homes / or put in a little @ Brian Beatty Homes and share it with your friends. Make sure they like it, and we're going to do more videos. Next one's going to be on water heater maintenance. Everybody goes, what do you mean? You just put them in and replace them? Nope. You want to make it last, there's a really quick and easy thing you can do to help make that thing last maybe twice as long as you normally are. It'll take you 10 minutes, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. So if that interests you, look for my next video here at brianbeattyhomes.com. And if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, send them my way. Always love the referrals. Have a great day.